Episode 56 FW June 7, 2023. Alaska's Republican Attorney General joins 9 U.S. state AGs to sue the EPA if new wood stove certification standards are not issued soon. United States. Biden-Harris administration launches $7 billion Solar for All grant competition. On June 28, the Biden-Harris administration launched the $7 billion Solar for All grant competition to fund residential solar programs, lower energy costs for families, and advance environmental justice through President Biden's Investing in America agenda. The Solar for All grant competition was created by the Inflation Reduction Act's Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund and advances the Justice 40 initiative. The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, is hosting an informational webinar on July 12, with notices of intent due by July 31, August 14, or August 28, depending on applicant type, and applications due by September 26. Alaska. ROSEP View, wood stove certification should be replaced by a complaint-based system, using Purple Air PM 2.5 monitor data gathered at the fence line in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners, in order to gather evidence leading to bans of indoor residential wood stove burning entirely. https://dems.ag/profile/Treg-Taylor. According to the Democratic Attorney General's Association, Treg Taylor, Alaska's Attorney General, is a Republican. The Attorneys General are not necessarily asking that the EPA issue stricter wood stove certification standards, rather asking that the EPA issue new wood stove certification standards soon. This assumes that wood stove certification is an adequate way to deal with the pollution from wood stoves. ROSEP believes that no wood stove burning is safe. ROSEP believes that regulation on a complaint basis using PM 2.5 monitors in the yards of near neighbors of indoor residential wood burners will quickly provide the proof that wood burning is not a safe method of home heating, especially in comparison with clean renewable, cheap alternatives such as heat pumps that work at temperatures down to 40 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit and could be powered by the clean renewable alternative of a smart electric grid powered by wind, solar and geothermal, or hydropower in Alaska. For home heating, these alternatives now available and with subsidies in 2023. Treg Taylor and 9 other attorneys general of 10 states announced that they intended to file suit against the federal EPA. Alaska and 9 other states have notified the Environmental Protection Agency they intend to sue if new standards for certification of wood-burning stoves are not issued soon. Aside from Alaska's concerns about the Fairbanks North Star Borough, the state's notice cited concerns that low-income and minority neighborhoods are suffering more from wood smoke that is being emitted by improperly certified heaters. Many of these devices will be installed in communities that are overburdened by environmental harms and other inequities, further exacerbating environmental justice issues, the notice said. This article from the Alaska Beacon quotes the Alaska Department of Environmental Conservation, DEC, Commissioner Jason Brune, who said wood smoke is responsible for 80% to 90% of the Fairbanks North Star borough's air quality problems. But Brune goes on to blame EPA regulators, not the state of Alaska, for pollution regulation that is overly punitive. Brune does not address the health concerns of continuing high levels of PM 2.5 pollution from wood-burning stoves in Fairbanks, Alaska. Brune states that the EPA federal government rules have little or no environmental benefit, although EPA rules designed by the federal government to have at least some environmental benefit, from some monitoring of the level of PM 2.5 in the air from indoor residential wood burning, even if not measured directly at the stack of each indoor residential wood burning stove. Unfortunately, EPA regulators in Seattle and Washington, D.C. are centrally focused on elements of the SIP that will have little to no environmental benefit, or at worst are overly punitive to utility ratepayers, Brune said in the Department of Law statement. These statements by the Alaskan head of the DEC must be music to the ears of the wood stove industry in Alaska, who seek relief from any cost to the wood stove industry of any compliance with federal EPA regulation of wood stove emissions. The Alaska legislature this spring also passed a resolution that the Alaska DEC develop an economically defensible state implementation plan, SIP, for wood stove standards, for Fairbanks. The code words economically defensible probably refer a preferred state for Brune where the wood stove industry in Alaska gets its way. Alaska continues to lag in regulation of air pollution and Alaska's North Star Fairbanks Borough continues, under Alaska's direction, to allow PM 2.5 emitting wood stoves to pollute Fairbanks air. This article from the Alaska Beacon states, but data from the EPA, which has praised Fairbanks' improvements in wood-burning practices, indicates that those stoves are less of a problem than they were in the past. And that validity of certification is now a relatively minor issue in the borough. Significant air quality improvements have been achieved since 2010, according to data from the Environmental Protection Agency. ROSEP believes that improvement over air pollution to a level that still exceeds the mildest EPA limits on PM 2.5 is not adequate improvement. Alaska's DEC is non-compliant with EPA's 2015 limits on PM 2.5, and Brune indicates he does not welcome any stricter regulation of PM 2.5 emissions from the EPA for wood stoves in Fairbanks, Alaska or anywhere else in Alaska. The Alaska legislature this spring passed a resolution urging a solution for the state EPA dispute. The measure, House Joint Resolution 11, called on the EPA to update its wood stove standards so they are more useful and credible, and called on the Department of Environmental Conservation to develop an economically and legally defensible state implementation plan for the Fairbanks North Star Borough non-attainment area. Why is there no photo of a wood stove emitting pollution in this article in the Alaska Beacon about a suit against the EPA over wood-burning stove standards? Why is there a photo of traffic in this article in the Alaska Beacon about a suit against the EPA over wood-burning stove standards? Why does this article in the Alaska Beacon about a suit against the EPA over wood-burning stove standards begin with a photo of emissions from a coal-burning plant? Is this photo used to imply that coal emissions are worse than wood-burning emissions? That is incorrect. Wood-burning emissions are worse than coal-burning emissions. Yes, coal-burning emissions do not present a pretty picture, but wood burning emits more CO2 and PM 2.5 than coal burning. PM 2.5 is particulate matter of 2.5 micrometer size, the perfect size to infiltrate the human lung, setting off a cascade of human health problems and early deaths. Wood burning is 90% PM 2.5. The lawsuit described in this Alaska Beacon article says that 10 U.S. states intend to sue the EPA if new PM 2.5 standards for wood-burning stoves are not issued soon. Residents against wood smoke emission particulates are concerned that new PM 2.5 standards, whenever they are issued, be strict and effective in controlling air pollution, and therefore ROSEP would like emission limits for PM 2.5 to be lowered to 25 micrograms per meter cubed daily and 8 micrograms per meter cubed annually. It is not necessarily how fast the limits are lowered, but whether PM 2.5 safe limits are lowered significantly that is important to ROSEP. The Alaskan legislature passed a resolution this spring that resolved that the EPA should be more flexible and lenient with PM 2.5 standards, because of the economic cost of complying with even the 2015 EPA PM 2.5 limits in Alaska. In that statement, the Alaskan legislature also blamed the EPA for the flaws in the wood stove certification program, which the Office of the Inspector General, OIG, the watchdog of the EPA, had pointed out in a report in February 2023. The OIG made clear in the report that the flaw in wood stove certification that resulted in highly polluting wood stoves continuing to be manufactured and sold in the U.S. was the result of lobbying by the wood stove industry for loopholes to compliance with even existing PM 2.5 limits. The fault of non-compliance was directed by the wood stove industry, but not a word was directed to the wood stove industry by the Alaskan legislature, except to state that compliance with PM 2.5 limits had negative economic consequences to the wood stove industry. In other news articles, some descriptions of the 10 states sued against the EPA state that the 10 states are blue. The facts below show the opposite in most cases, that Alaska is a red state. Although Mary Peltola is a newly elected Democrat from Alaska for the U.S. House of Representatives and the Alaskan State Senate has a Democratic majority caucus, the governor, lieutenant governor, and the 2 U.S. Senators Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan are Republicans. The Alaskan State House of Representatives has a Republican majority caucus. The Alaskan Supreme Court is viewed as Republican-controlled. The current Attorney General of Alaska takes traditionally Republican positions on most issues. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/alaska_legislature. Excerpts edited by ROSEP for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. Wikipedia states that Alaska has representation in the Alaskan legislature of 20 senators and 40 representatives. In the Alaskan State Senate, the majority caucus is 17 out of 20 state senators. 9 of the 20 senators are Democrat, 8 are Republicans who caucus with Democrats, and 3 are Republicans that do not caucus with Democrats. In the Alaskan State House of Representatives, the majority caucus is 23 out of 40 Alaskan state representatives, with 19 Republicans, 2 independents, and 2 Democrats caucusing with the House majority. The minority caucus of 16 out of 40 is made up of 11 Democrats, 1 Republican caucusing with the minority caucus, and 4 independents caucusing with the minority caucus. There is 1 non-caucusing Alaskan House representative, who is Republican. These numbers from the Alaskan legislature show that the majority caucus in the Alaskan State Senate is Democrat, and the majority caucus in the Alaskan House of Representatives is Republican. That is not a particularly blue Alaskan state legislature. https://gov.alaska.gov. James Dunleavy is an American educator and politician serving since 2018 as the 12th governor of Alaska. A Republican, he was a member of the Alaska Senate from 2013 to 2018. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Alaska. In Alaska, the governor, lieutenant governor, both U.S. Senators, Lisa Murkowski and Dan Sullivan, are Republicans. Mary Peltola, the U.S. House Representative from Alaska, is a Democrat. Mary Peltola was elected only recently. Government. Governor. Mike Dunleavy, R. Lieutenant Governor. Nancy Dahlstrom, R. Legislature. Alaska Legislature. Upper House. Senate. Lower House. House of Representatives. Judiciary. Alaska Supreme Court. U.S. Senators. Lisa Murkowski, R. Dan Sullivan, R. U.S. House Delegation. Mary Peltola, D. List. https://ballotpedia.org/Alaska_Supreme_Court. Alaska had a State Supreme Court balance score of 2.00 on the 5-member Alaskan Supreme Court, indicating Republican control of the court. In total, the study found that there were 15 states with Democrat-controlled courts, 27 states with Republican-controlled courts, and 8 states with split courts. The map below shows the court balance score of each U.S. state. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Mary_Peltola. Mary Sattler Peltola, née Sattler, Yupik, Akalek, formerly Nelson, formerly Kapsner, born August 31, 1973, is an American politician and former tribal judge serving as the U.S. Representative from Alaska's at-large congressional district since September 2022. She previously served as a judge on the Oritsaramiut Native Council's Tribal Court, Executive Director of the Kuskokwim River Intertribal Fish Commission, Bethel City Councilor and member of the Alaska House of Representatives. A member of the Democratic Party, Peltola defeated former Governor Sarah Palin and Alaska Policy Forum board member Nick Begich in an upset in the August 2022 special election to succeed Don Young, who died in March that year. In doing so, she became the first Alaska Native member of Congress and the only Russian Orthodox, as well as the first woman ever to represent Alaska in the House, the first person to have been born in Alaska to serve in the House, and first Democrat since Nick Begich Sr. in 1972. She was re-elected to a full term in the regularly scheduled election in November 2022. As of 2023, Peltola is the only Democrat holding statewide office in Alaska. https://en.wikipedia.org/wiki/Treg_Taylor. The current Attorney General of Alaska takes traditionally Republican positions on most issues. Treg Eric R. Taylor is an American attorney and politician serving as the Alaska Attorney General. He assumed office in an acting capacity on January 30, 2021, succeeding Ed Sniffen, who resigned after being appointed to the position 2 weeks before. Taylor supported the Pebble Mine proposal and expressed opposition to the federal government's decision to block the project. Alaska Attorney General Treg Taylor led the effort supported by 16 states to call out how the Federal Bureau of Land Management, BLM, is trying, through a draft rule, to replace land uses with conservation on some federal lands. He has threatened legal action against Walgreens over the potential distribution of abortion pills in Alaska, even though abortion and the relevant medications remain legal in Alaska. Attorney General Treg Taylor started with the Alaska Department of Law in 2018. Prior to being appointed Deputy Attorney General, Treg was senior counsel for a subsidiary of Arctic Slope Regional Corporation, the largest locally owned and operated business in Alaska. He also served as counsel for McKinley Capital Management, an investment manager serving a global client base from its headquarters in Anchorage, Alaska. Treg began his legal career in Anchorage working in a commercial litigation firm for 4 years. Alaska and 9 other states threatened to sue EPA over wood-burning stove standards. Alaska Beacon. July 6, 2023. Smokestack emissions are seen along the Fairbanks skyline on March 1. At left is the coal-fired heat and power plant on the University of Alaska Fairbanks campus. Alaska and 9 other states have filed a notice of intent to sue the Environmental Protection Agency over its certification process for wood-fired stoves, which are factors in Fairbanks air pollution. Alaska and 9 other states have notified the Environmental Protection Agency they intend to sue if new standards for certification of wood-burning stoves are not issued soon. Excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. The EPA last issued standards for wood-burning stoves in 2015, and new standards are due at least every 8 years, said the Notice of Intent to Sue, which was issued on June 29. Since 2010, there have been thousands of stoves replaced, repaired or converted to non-wood units, according to EPA data. The 1,596 new wood-burning stoves installed between 2010 and 2022 showed significant improvements, according to the data. By 2022, the average emissions per wood-burning stove was less than a fourth of the 2010 average, according to the data. Since 2016, when standards set in 2015 were effective, 158 EPA-certified wood-burning stoves have been installed in the borough, according to the EPA's data. Since that year, much of the changeover involved conversions to other types of heating. Aside from Alaska's concerns about the Fairbanks North Star borough, the state's notice cited concerns that low-income and minority neighborhoods are suffering more from wood smoke that is being emitted by improperly certified heaters. Many of these devices will be installed in communities that are overburdened by environmental harms and other inequities, further exacerbating environmental justice issues, the notice said. The state's notice cited documented deficiencies in the EPA's wood stove certification program. Those citations include an EPA Inspector General's report issued in February that found the 2015 standards were flawed and that inaccurate tests and oversight likely meant that consumers were getting substandard products marketed as certified. The notice also cited a 2021 study by a coalition of 8 Northeast states that evaluated over 250 EPA-certified wood heaters and found a systemic failure of the entire certification process and a lack of oversight, creating a dysfunctional system. In many cases, manufacturers and testing laboratories distorted measurements, resulting in consumers getting subpar products, the report said. Alaska and 9 other states threatened to sue EPA over wood-burning stove standards. Alaska Public Media. Particulate pollution from wood-burning stoves and other sources can get trapped in that stagnant air, resulting in violations of Clean Air Act. Arizona Department of Environmental Quality issued ozone high pollution advisory for Arizona Emergency Information Network az.gov. Eliminate wood burning in fireplaces, stoves, chimeneas, and outdoor fire pits. Avoid using leaf blowers. Use a rake or broom to keep debris out of. Particulate pollution from wood-burning stoves and other sources can get trapped in that stagnant air, resulting in violations of Clean Air Act. California, Los Angeles. Future demand for wood will undermine efforts to reduce global greenhouse gas emissions. Los Angeles Times. Many local air districts have also offered incentives to replace wood-burning appliances, not only for the climate benefits, but also to reduce, when they are cut down, the stored carbon can be released over time or rapidly if the wood is burned. By mid-century, humans are expected to raise. New Jersey. Phil Murphy administration now going after wood-burning stoves. Shore News Network. Shore News Network. When you think of New Jersey, you don't necessarily think of homes with wood-burning stoves in them, but a large number of them are in use across. Phil Murphy administration now going after wood-burning stoves. July 5, 2023. When you think of New Jersey, you don't necessarily think of homes with wood-burning stoves in them, but a large number of them are in use across the state. Many rural residents in New Jersey not only use their wood-burning stoves for nostalgia, they also use them as an alternative source to warm their homes in winter. Now, the state is threatening to sue the EPA for not enforcing the new source performance standards for wood-burning stoves. Excerpts edited by Rozep for brevity and clarity and relationship to residents against wood smoke emission particulates. Phil Murphy's administration is joining other states including Maryland, New York and Massachusetts in a threat to sue the Environmental Protection Agency for failing to timely review and revise the new source performance standards for residential wood heaters, under the Clean Air Act, the Act. This new standard could lead to strict enforcement on wood-burning stoves in the Garden State. On March 16, 2015, EPA issued a final rule with two sets of updated performance standards for wood heaters. Point 4 That rule had an effective date of May 15, 2015, on which the first set of updated standards went into effect. Point 5 The second, more stringent set of the 2015 standards, with lower levels of particulate matter emissions, went into effect on May 15, 2020. The state claims the EPA is not enforcing those standards and new heaters do not meet the regulations set forth in the 2015 ruling. The EPA's Office of Inspector General corroborated the study's findings, determining that EPA's residential wood heater program does not provide reasonable assurance that wood heaters are properly tested and certified before reaching consumers. New Jersey says the issue is an environmental justice issue that is counter to environmental equity being touted by the governor's office. If the EPA does not correct itself, New Jersey and other states plan to sue the federal government. New York, Chelsea. New pizza regs real aim, scrub particles that cause asthma, not fight climate change. Chelsea News New York. Proposal concerning coal and wood-fired pizza ovens stirred up controversy. However, a careful reading of the regulation by Strauss News clarifies that. North Carolina. Wildfire smoke can harm human health, even when the fire is burning hundreds of miles away. NCWLife.com. Smoke from more than 100 wildfires burning across Canada has been. Being exposed to wood smoke won't independently cause someone to have a. New York, New York City. Oregon. Oregon among states planning to sue EPA for allowing sales of polluting wood-burning stoves. Oregon Capitol Chronicle. Oregon's Attorney General joins 9 other attorneys general to demand greater regulation of pollution from residential wood-burning stoves. Oregon among states planning to sue EPA for allowing sales of polluting wood-burning stoves. Oregon Capitol Chronicle. Wood smoke contains a number of harmful air pollutants, including carbon monoxide and fine particulate matter that can lead to asthma. Oregon, Philomath. Oregon among states planning to sue EPA for allowing sales of polluting wood-burning stoves. Philomath News. Oregon's Attorney General joins 9 other attorneys general to demand greater regulation of pollution from residential wood-burning stoves. Utah, Salt Lake. Utah County saw state's worst air pollution after Independence Day fireworks. The Salt Lake Tribune. Particle pollution levels, also known as PM 2.5 levels, measure the level of dust and soot in the air. At 10 a.m. Wednesday, levels in Utah County. Vermont. VT, New York among 10 states that plan to sue EPA over standards for residential wood-burning stoves. KWCH. Wood-burning stoves has allowed the continued sale of appliances that could worsen pollution. Out there, how to handle the smoke. Vermont Public. Vermont Public. In late June, Burlington set a record for worst air quality recorded in Vermont when PM 2.5 concentrations soared to 174 micrograms per cubic. VT Museum remembers famous abolitionist's speech on meaning of 4th of July. WCAX. CAX. VT, New York among 10 states that plan to sue EPA over standards for residential wood-burning stoves. Updated, 46 minutes ago. Attorneys General from 10. Vermont, Rutland. Wood as Fuel Letters, RutlandHerald.com. Rutland Herald. Ilana Mihaly's commentary on not utilizing biomass fuel. Mihaly, Wood-Burning Future, June 30, claims. Washington, Seattle. Research led by UW undergrad shows ultrafine air pollution reflects Seattle's redlining history. Newswise. PM 2.5 and nitrogen dioxide, NO2. The study used mobile monitoring a car loaded with air pollution sensors driving around the city for the rant and rave, neighborhood campfires not appreciated by reader. The Seattle Times. The Seattle Times. Wood smoke is unhealthy too. It doesn't disappear but drifts onto neighboring properties some blocks away and fills yards and houses with. Washington, D.C. Wildfire smoke may be having a negative impact on your mental health. The Washington Post. The Washington Post. Because it involves inefficient combustion of wood, leaves and soil, wildfire smoke contains just an enormous number of chemicals. Western United States. Drought impacts on the electricity system, emissions, and air quality in the western United States. NOS. Drought-induced emissions increased surface PM 2.5 near fossil fuel plants. When accounting for the plant-level heterogeneity, we find that drought. Dubai. U.S. states sue Washington, seek strict wood-burning stove standards. BigNewsNetwork.com. To sue the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency claiming it failed to review and ensure emissions standards for residential wood-burning stoves. India. PM 2.5 levels in rural-urban regions not very different, witnessed similar trend of decline. Times of India. To bring focus on the possible impacts of air pollution on the country's rural population, it used Dr. Sagnik Day's PM 2.5 SONS data, satellite data. India, Bathinda. PM 2.5 levels in rural-urban regions not very different, witnessed similar trend of decline. Times of India. Environment News, Bathinda. Even as the country air pollution mitigation action is hugely concentrated in cities and often ignores the rural. India, Kolkata. Pollution check, PM 2.5 in Bengal dips in both rural and urban areas. Millennium Post. Millennium Post. Kolkata, particulate matter, PM 2.5 in Bengal has decreased sharply in both rural and urban areas between 2017 to 2022, a latest study revealed. India, Maharashtra. Maha PM 2.5 reduction in 5 years lowest among states. Mumbai News, Times of India. Times of India. Particulate matter, PM 2.5 levels shows. According to the analysis, PM 2.5 concentration levels in rural Maharashtra decreased only by 9.5% from. According to the analysis, PM 2.5 concentration levels in rural Maharashtra decreased only by 9.5% from 2017 to 2022. In the state's urban areas. India, Mumbai. Lack of significant reduction in carcinogenic PM 2.5 levels in Maharashtra's air raises concerns. Times of India. An analysis of 2022 data on carcinogenic 2.5 PM levels in the air reveals that Maharashtra, both in its rural and urban areas including Mumbai, residents against wood smoke emission particulates, see https://rawscpresidents.wordpress.com and click on the nearest right icon for the latest month, July 2023, of PDFs of articles with URLs to search on. To the right of that, stickers to hand out for RAWSUP https://rawscpresidents.wordpress.com/rawcp-sticker-templates-get-your-2 cents in games such as 1. Bingo for RAWSUP, 2. Crosswords for RAWSUP, 3. Endwood Smoke Jeopardy! 4. Endwood Smoke Monopoly Games, 5. A RAWSUP Flyer, 6. The Untwist It Game, and 7. Vending machines for PM 2.5 monitors, and icon links to 30-minute YouTube videos and Spotify podcasts as well as podcasts on Amazon Music Prime, free for Prime subscribers, podcasts.google.com, CastBox, and Pocket Cast. Pocket Cast is only free on the phone app. Pocket Cast works on Apple phones, and, below those icons, icon links to monthly PDFs of articles with URLs to search on, from June 2023 to May 2022.